Boo.
Good evening.
Good evening. How you doing, Stu?
Not bad, mate. How are you?
It's been a hectic week. It's been a hectic week. It climaxed today, for want of a better word. And yeah, it's been good. It's been good. It's been good. It's like I got told several times, all my hard work all week, all my days of 6 and 4 hour sleeps, and getting into work at stupid o'clock in the morning, and leaving and coming home, and then carrying on working till stupid o'clock at night. I got told, well done, I've done a good job, so that's all I needed. Thank you, and I appreciate it. And right now, I still have reps standing on the picket line. So I'm pleased. I'm pleased. It went very well. It went very well today. It's going to have a massive impact as well. I've been talking. Oh, I actually did an interview on our local radio station, Free Counties Radio. They interviewed me as I'm in charge of the branch this week.
Yeah.
And so I did that. That went well. And out of 550 employees in my mail centre, when I left at just gone 7 o'clock this evening, only 2 people had gone in all day. So we still have one more shift to go, but yeah, I'm happy with that. That's a massive result for me.
Yeah.
So I've deserved the beer. Cheers.
No, quite right, mate. Quite right. I've got a busy weekend ahead, so I'm just on the water.
The water. As you guys out there, water.
Just I've been kind of sort of chilling out. Just the lead up to me going off on holiday was just been absolutely hectic. It's been a combination of 9 months of we've been getting an extension built in the factory. And the amount of extra work that's been put onto our shoulders has been unbelievable. And basically, as you know, because you messaged me, I had a bit of a wobble, but this is one of the reasons why because when you start drinking on top of not feeling 100%, it kind of
it's not good. It's not good.
So
I know, brother. I've been there. I've been in the same position. I was in a very dark place many years ago, and and I had a lot of good people around me, a lot of great family, and they all helped. And it's amazing because I never really believed it. But just talking to someone or admitting you've got a problem or admitting something's getting you down, it's great medicine. It really is. It worked for me. It doesn't work for everybody, but it worked for me.
Definitely, because sometimes you just
work for me. It doesn't work for everybody. Here we go. Peaky Blinders left his YouTube on again.
So
I found out how it works now.
Excellent.
I found out how it works now.
No, he ain't. He's stuck in a loop, isn't he?
Definitely.
He's stuck in a loop, isn't he?
Echo.
Shut the other YouTube. Oh, we just shut everything down. I think he's closed the wrong one this time. Yeah. Anyway, Stu, you were saying before we were rudely interrupted.
Yeah. So I mean, as you know, if you're not feeling 100% and you don't tell anybody, small things can become large things very, very quickly. Whereas if you actually tell the ones close to you that, listen, I'm not feeling 100%, just give me a wee bit of breathing space. I'm okay, but I just need to deal with a few things, and I'll be back. My wife's getting absolutely fantastic. She can actually, if I'm walking in the door, she can pretty much sense it straight away, and I'll maybe say, listen, I'm just going to go upstairs and have an hour or so to myself, and I just need that time to decompress. So she's really good at that, and she'll maybe say to the kids, listen, just no so much noise and just chill out a wee bit.
Yeah. We see if he's sorted it this time.
No so much noise and just chill out a wee bit.
No, if he's sorted it this time.
It's just
shut the YouTube link down altogether, aren't we?
No,
if he's sorted it this time.
It's just
shut the YouTube link down altogether, aren't we? Hang on, let's stick him down there for a minute until he figures that out. Gives a thumbs. Oh, he's gone again.
So That's step by step. You know, it's like you have to sort of look after yourself. You know, it's like what I have done is I've learned not to take everything in. So sometimes it's like with a job you can care too much, you know, and like you see other people that just seem to coast through and don't bother if the place is turning to absolute poo. Do you know what I mean? Whereas that's not the type of person I am. If there's something needs done and it's the end of my shift, I'll stay on without being asked to stay on to get it done because I know it needs done, you know. But there's some people that will have their jackets on and be standing at the front of the queue when the place is turning upside down, basically, you know. It's like, it's just, but it's learning just to sort of let the people who are paid to worry about it. That's one of the sort of biggest life lessons that I've learned.
Yeah, I get it. I know where you've been, mate. I know where you've been. I know where you are. Yeah. So, but the offer still stands. You've had the messages.
Yeah.
You got my number.
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. But this week I've basically just done nothing. I've hit the emergency stop button and I've not done it. I've got things to do. I've got to get out my bike. I've got the clutch cover, clutch gasket. I've got a new fuel filter. I've got new fuel hoses to go on the ZX9 that can handle the E10. I've got loads and loads of stuff to do, but I've made a conscientious decision of saying my first week I am doing nothing.
Yeah.
The second week I'm going to be busy, and I know I'm going to be busy, but it's going to be an enjoyable busy because it's doing my stuff. It's doing what I want to be doing. Stuff in the house, hanging doors and stuff like that, and then round to the lockup for at least 1, possibly 2 days for the ZX9, and then the rest of the time we'll be riding the Z.
Yeah. But there we go. Look at this.
Yeah, I know. Thanks, Christopher. That's spot on. Thanks very much for that.
You'd be surprised who reaches out when you're feeling like that as well. Sometimes there's people you least expect it for. You expect it from, but yeah. All right, mate. Do you want to come on or not? It's up to you. But yeah, you'd be surprised. Yeah, that's the wrong link, I think. Who will? I think that's fucking twat. Yeah, I'm pressing all the wrong buttons here, Zed.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like, Rhythmic Biker contacted me as well, you know. Which I had a chat with him, and here he is. How you doing? How you doing, buddy?
I just better make sure I mute the right one. I've got my headphones on there anyway.
No, but there you are. Anyway, I was going to give a bit of news about my channel.
Oh yeah.
Let's bring this man in first because they're going to love being side by side. There you go. Have a hug.
Hey.
That's cute.
Make squoochy faces to each other. A bit of news about my channel. I've finally bought a bullet and I bought some stickers, and they're coming this weekend, hopefully. Zed, I know you're going to send me one of yours, but give me your address. Lockwood, same.
Yeah.
Get some stickers sent out. I'm only having a few delivered to start off with. I want to see the quality of them first, and if it's good, I'll get some more. So
I got these made up through Vistaprint, and it's a nice square one, and it's got the QR code of the channel on the back. So the good thing is, see if you're at a meet. Know that I've done it, but in my head I was thinking about it. If you're at a meet, you just fire some stickers on, you know, the way around, and you know you might get some subs from it.
Yeah.
Just a thought.
I wanted to make one with a QR code on it and that before, but what I've basically done is I've took a picture I had because I wanted to try this thing out. Added some words to it, got it die cut, the shape I wanted, and I thought, well, that'll do for starters, and then I might get a better graphic made up at some point, and I want to put my QR code in it, put it all on the document, then I can upload it.
Yeah.
And then what I'll do is then that image, if as long as I can get that image high enough quality, because I've now launched also my merchandise store. I'm going to get that printed up as well, so people can buy it, and it'll come with a QR code on whatever they purchase.
Nice one. So you got to do like a website or anything, or for
no?
buying
Once
it,
you become monetized, there's some shops that link up with your YouTube page. So you basically upload your design, what you want, and you tell them what you want to put it on, and then it will automatically upload that onto your YouTube channel. So when you go to my YouTube channel now, because I've enabled store and selected my shops and got them linked together, when I got up the next day, it put everything on the video. All the merch is there, and you click on it, takes you to the website. You buy what you want, and they charge. Their prices are fixed. You can't change them. You buy what you want, and they print it up and send it out there, and then you do nothing.
So it's print on demand.
Yeah.
So you're not having to buy it, bring it in house, and then send it out. They're doing it for you.
Yeah.
That's
I thought that was a much better idea. Last week, because Red put up his clothing to you shop, whatever it was that he uses, and I looked at their prices, and I thought, you know what, I can't afford to get that many bits and pieces, and then hope that somebody buys them, especially with the economic climate at the moment and the fact I'm having strike days and not getting paid. And then I found that just by playing with the channel, and so that's the way I do it on that. So that worked very well for me.
Yeah, cool.
That's a good idea.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to bring the Peaky Biker in again. Let's see if he's managed to sort his YouTube out now. So hang on, here we come. Are we getting an echo? Peaky Biker in again. Let's see if he's managed to sort his
YouTube.
I'm not. It's just echoing like fuck.
So you've muted your YouTube channel.
I'm not. It's just echoing like fuck.
You've muted your...
Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, you get everything twice for the same price, including Red Bomb's Dyson.
Is that your PC that's making that noise, Rev?
It's me that's whinging, yeah. I've got the benefit of the Hoover. It's because Lockwood's underneath me. Just don't do that to me.
It's better than a dry wank anyway.
Why am I underneath? Am I not on top? No. Why have I got to be underneath? I'm the giver.
Sounds like the mic's picking up the speakers, and that's what you're getting back. I don't know if you might turn your speakers down or
I'm the giver.
adjust your mic. Sounds like the mic picking up the speakers, and that's what you're getting back. I don't know if you might turn your speakers down or adjust your mic.
So that's like, for me, that's like 2 seconds behind. Somebody's speaking, and then I'm hearing it like 2 seconds behind everybody else. So that's like, for me, that's like 2 seconds behind. Somebody's speaking.
So good he said it twice. I don't know, Peaky. I really don't know, mate.
I'm not sure.
Come on, we must have a PC whiz in here somewhere in this room.
Volume on and listen in StreamYard, and then mute the YouTube channel. That's not what it works.
That's what I've done.
Volume on and listen in StreamYard, and then mute the YouTube channel. That's not what it works.
Let me have a look.
No, he's gone again. I don't know, these GS riders,
Exactly YouTube is easier, yeah.
Anyway, Lockwood, apologies, I haven't watched your Africa Twin or Africa videos yet. I haven't watched any, to be honest. I've been uber busy. How is it? How is it? You really enjoying it?
Yeah, well, when I first got it, I never even test rode one. I just really fancied one, and because I've been watching quite a few of Richie Vito's videos, and I knew that he'd been test riding one for best part of a year, and then he bought one because he loved it so much, and he was ranting and raving just how good the DCT was. And then I've been watching Mr. Fish, and he's another one that had an Africa Twin, and he sold it and bought another Africa Twin. So, to me, these guys these guys know what they're talking about. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to buy one. I'm just going. I fancy doing a bit of off-roading. I fancy doing a bit of touring. This will do everything.
Yeah.
So I just went for it, and in the back, you know, there's a wee voice in the back of my head saying, oh, you need to have a clutch. You know, you need to, when you're doing slow manoeuvres, you need to be able to control it with the clutch and all that. And I'd been watching videos on, well, just use the back brake to control it when you're doing slow manoeuvres, because you don't have a clutch. So I was like, I'm just going to give it a try. At the end of the day, I can have it for a couple of years, and I can decide if it's for me or if it's not. So the bike came, and the guy took it out of the van, and I took the CB out of the garage, and then he said, oh, it's a big change going from, you know, that to that. And I was like, yeah, I know. And I rolled it into the garage, shut the door of the garage, and I looked at the Africa Twin, and I was like, fuck me, this is massive. It was massive, you know. Looking at it, it was just it was like a transformer sitting in my garage. It was just such a big looking bike. That was the initial hit, and then when I took it out for the first time, I thought I'd made a mistake. I was like, oh, I don't know if I like this. I don't know if I like what it's doing. But there's that many different options on it. You've got, if you stick it into drive, honestly, before I'm out in my estate, I'm at 30 miles an hour and it's in 6th gear. That's what it does. It just jumps straight. It tries to get to the highest gear possible in the shortest amount of time without it stalling itself. And I thought, oh, I don't like this. But if you fire it into sport mode, it holds onto the gears a lot longer. So, you know, you can, if you have it in Sport 1, it's a wee bit spirited. It will hold on to 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th a wee bit longer. If you have it in Sport 2, it holds on to the gears even longer. Sport 3 is like if you're out with the boys, you know, you'll be 70 mile an hour. It will hold on to 3rd, 4th gear. It will not go above that until you really open it up. So it will hold on, it will keep the revs high if you're in the high sport modes. And I find, for me, that's perfect. So I kind of have it sitting in Sport 2 mode, and it's ideal. You know, it's really good. If I'm hitting some of the wee back roads, I'll put it in manual mode, and I'll just use the paddles to kind of move it up and down, which is great as well. You know, you could be sitting and never really, because it's so, the low down torque is phenomenal on it. You could be sitting in 3rd at 15 mile an hour and open it up, and it'll almost wheelie because it's so good. The torque's so good on it. You could be sitting in 3rd and just leave it in 3rd. You don't need to worry about it possibly changing gear when you come round a bend or, you know, anything like that. But no, it's good. It's good. One thing that you kind of have to get used to is, if it's in auto mode and you're in 6th gear, 70 mile an hour, you're coming up to a roundabout, traditionally what I would do is I'd start going down the gears and let the engine slow me down. But the bike doesn't know you're coming up to a roundabout and you want to slow down. So unless you fire on the brakes, as soon as you fire on the brakes, it's like, oh, he wants to stop, and it'll go da-da-da and go down the gears really quick. But if you don't really know, and what I was finding was I was coming up to roundabouts and having to use the brake to slow me down. But the good thing is, when you realise what it's doing, you just start using the paddle and just manually go down the gear. It's just getting used to the way that it is. The best thing about it is it's kind of like it's got launch control because it can't stall. See, if you're sitting at a set of lights, the lights go green, you just twist that throttle, the thing will just take off, because you don't have to worry about biting that clutch, you know, and trying to make sure that you don't rev it, let the clutch out and it stalls. You just open the thing up and it'll rock it. It's really, really quick.
Is the wheelie control on there as well then and everything?
Yeah. So you can go in, you can adjust the wheelie control on it as well. If you there's different mapping mode. So you've got tour mode, urban mode. Urban mode reduces the power a wee bit, so it's not quite as snatchy when it's going through town. I tend to use urban mode for that. But most of the time I'll keep it in tour mode. You can go in and you can adjust the settings on that, so you can turn down the wheelie control, so you do get a bit more. Initially, what I was finding was if I just opened it up from standstill, it would just go. But since toning down the wheelie control, you can feel the front coming up. As soon as you open it up, you can, but it only comes up to a point. It's never going to flip you off. It'll just come up, and you can feel you can feel it kicking in, that it's trying to bring you back down again, that it's going to hold you there. It's really good for that. But I think that's the beauty of it, because it's so, you feel like it's got a brain. It's really controlling your riding.
Do you feel like it's helping you as a rider? Or
I think it's changing me as a rider.
A little bit out of control. The bike's in a bit too much.
It's probably changing maybe the way I ride a wee bit, because I'm letting it do its thing. I'm intervening every so often. I'm letting it do its thing, and no, I don't. It's maybe changing my riding style a wee bit. But then saying that, I mean, I've been riding that constantly for about 3 weeks, and then I jumped on the VFR for the last 2 weekends, and I didn't feel like I was struggling with that in any way. It's a totally different bike, and your mind just changes to that style of bike.
Yeah. Can you feel like the rawness between the different levels of the bike?
Aye. I mean,
you jump on the VFR and you give it the beans. You can, when you meet in a corner, you can open it up and feel the beans. Where probably, on the Africa Twin, you probably open it up and it might make it a little bit more. What's the word I'm after?
Refined.
Yeah. See why bouncing along. Do you know what I mean? You ain't hitting.
Yeah.
Fucking pinning through the corner.
There's probably an element of that. I mean, the CB1000R was quite a raw ride, and I would jump on the VFR and feel it was quite refined. But then after being on the Africa Twin and then jumping on the VFR, it's not refined. The Africa Twin's refined. When you see the fact that it just floats, it's like a hovercraft. It just floats over the bumps. You find yourself. Before, I was looking for a pothole and avoiding it.
Yeah.
With this, I feel like I don't care, because I know this will deal with it. I know this will do what it needs to do. I don't have to worry about it. So yeah, even jump the VFR is raw. The thing with the VFR is you're in total control of that bike from start to finish. You're the one that throws it into the corner on whatever gear you want. If you want to stop fast, you'll drop it a couple of gears really quickly. With the Africa Twin, you feel like you need to engage more with it, because you get lazy and you let it do its thing. And then if you really need to slow down quickly, you have to think about what you're doing. It's a bit like that.
I can, like I say, I've never rode a. Well, what's it called? A DCT? Is it a DCT?
Yeah.
I've never rode one, so I've got no experience in it. But for me, there's nothing better than getting into a corner, knocking it down 3 gears, and feeling the back having a bit of a twitch, and you can tip in, and you yourself can progress through the corner. Do you know what I mean? Where that you feel it's almost like that's taking that little bit away from you.
If you stick it in manual mode, if you stick it in manual mode, you don't get that, because you're still controlling the gears, you're still moving it up and down. One thing I thought about, and I know you can get it, is I could get a gear selector for it, and it's a bit like a quick shifter.
Yeah.
You can just move it up and down as you see fit. You could just leave it in manual mode. The beauty of it is, even if you're in manual mode, if I'm, say, in third gear at 40 mile an hour and I'm coming up to a set of traffic lights I don't have to go down the gears. If it knows it's going to stall, it'll go down the gears for me. You know, and I can just sit in third, fourth gear, just brake, and it'll just go down the gears, and I'll still be sitting there in first gear, just waiting to pull away again. It'll not go into neutral. It just sits in first, just waiting to go. You know, it's good for that side of things.
What does your left hand actually do when you sit there?
Nothing.
Nothing at all. Is it just a grip? So there's no.
It's just a grip. Yeah, there is a handbrake that sits further up that looks like a clutch lever, but that's basically just if you wanted to, if you're on a hill, say, you know, you pull that, and
Just
it's
like
just
hill hold kind of thing.
Aye, kind of something like that. Yeah. So you could do that if you wanted to use it. I think maybe having a gear selector on your foot would be good to have. I think, and then you could just leave it in manual mode all the time, and it's effectively a quick shifter.
Yeah.
We no stall. You know, it just goes up and down as you want. But no, I'm kind of getting used to just leaving it in auto mode. I'll have it in sport 2 auto mode, just leave it there all day. If I hit some twisties, then I'll drop it into manual because I want to have a bit more interaction.
So can you feel the back end sliding or tipping or nothing?
Nothing. Absolutely. No, you feel absolutely nothing. When I first got the bike, I could feel when if I was hitting maybe, if I was going leaning really heavy on it, I would feel something like maybe there was an issue with the traction. Maybe the tyres are shit or there's something up with the pressure or whatever.
Yeah, a bit like a flat tyre. Yeah.
But it was actually the traction control was kicking in. That's what it was. And when I toned that down a wee bit, I don't get that anymore. It's great.
See, I had exactly the same as my BM. I was hitting the corners and I took them in. I was like, mate, it feels like I'm riding on wets in the dry. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it feels like you can feel the front starting to go a wee bit, or something's just not right.
Yeah. It's like you're sliding, the back sliding or the front sliding. And then I was like, yes, we can adjust that. And then once they showed me how to adjust it, it's a completely different bike now. Because I can actually now, probably the same as you, I can actually set how hard or soft the suspension at the front and the back. So you can physically feel the difference when you hit a corner. So I get in that wobble through the corner.
Have you got electronic suspension?
Yeah.
So I'm manual suspension, but for me it works fine. You know, if I've got the panniers on the back, I'll maybe click it 3-4 times just to kind of tighten up a wee bit. But even then, it was fine. It was absolutely fine. With a bit of weight on the back, it was absolutely fine. Having a pillion on the back, it was fine. Didn't feel any different. If anything, slow manoeuvres, because it is quite top heavy, just getting used to that, you know, extra weight, I suppose. But no, nothing. I mean, that's it. I looked at the GS and I looked at the telelever suspension and how good that is. I mean, myself and Zed, we had a shot on the GSAs and they're just phenomenal bikes. They really are.
So the only thing I'd say is coming from like normal suspension. So when you hit a corner or you hit the apex, you get the dive. Obviously, you brake, you hit the dive, then you tip in, then you accelerate. You get that fluidity taking a corner on all the corners. But when you don't get that dive on the BM, it takes a lot getting used to not to get that dive, to have to be able to, because you can run your brake all the way through that corner with that telelever suspension. You can literally brake all the way through the corner. Where obviously, you know, on most bikes, your tyres can only do one thing. They can either turn or brake. That's it. So now on that, obviously on the GS, you can do both on that, because with that telelever suspension, you can go into a corner and you can brake as hard as you can, and you can still counter steer and get through the corner.
To
actually get that into your head is
that's going to be hard, isn't it? Yeah.
It took me nearly 9 months to get to the point where I'm competent and confident enough that I can go in, not braking with my back brake, with my front brake, and still steer into a corner, kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
I think it's all about electronic suspension and gubbins. That's what made me not like the GSA when I rode it. Personally, I took it around some little bumpy roads and everything else. I couldn't feel a thing. It was like sitting on a carpet. It was comfy, everything else, but I wasn't getting my feedback I like to get when I'm riding.
Yeah.
When you're riding, I'd say 30, 40, 50% of your riding is what you're feeling the bike give you to tell you what you can do in the corners, and you understand that riding the track, you get to learn when it feels like it's going to slip, and you learn all those bits. Well, when I rode Andy's one, I wasn't getting any feedback from the bike to say, look, you're pushing me too hard through this, or you can go faster through this. I was getting nothing at all, so I was sort of left in limbo land. Well, where am I? No doubt you get used to it. No doubt at all.
When Carlos said
he's very vague. Sorry.
It's all right.
It is very the feeling from the front end, from the actual handlebars, it is really, really vague. Do you know what I mean? So if you ride a normal standard bike, you can feel the chatter, you can feel the bend, you can feel the counter steer. You sit on that, and there's nothing.
That's exactly what I felt on GSA. I mean, I think because it was something I'd never ridden before, and we took it through the Clyde Tunnel, which is quite a bumpy road, all the way through that tunnel, and it was kind of that way where you would brake and you felt nothing, know, and I don't know. I think it's good to have a bit of feedback, and I probably didn't feel any feedback, and I don't know if that was because I'd only been on the bike 5 minutes or what it was. I think the biggest thing for me with the telelever is that when you go from that back to a non, and you fire that brake for the first time in front dives, it's just getting used to not having, back to not having that kind of suspension again.
Yeah.
How did you feel, Zed?
Pretty much the same as yourself, with regards to when you apply the brake. The fact that if I apply the brake in the ZZR, I'm expecting pressure to be then put onto my arms, and that wasn't happening.
Yeah.
And then when you're accelerating away, you're expecting the back end to squat, which doesn't happen. It sits on an even plane, which I can understand for distance riding. It probably helps with fatigue, the fact that you're not constantly having that back and forward, the strain through your shoulders, your arms, and so on and so forth. But coming from the ZZR, which has absolutely no rider aids going on to that, it was strange. It was strange. Actually, at one point when we were going through the Clyde Tunnel, I was doing that, moving the bars just to try and get it to do something, because it felt as if it was like they weren't attached to the wheel. You know what I mean?
And then the bike looks so heavy, but when you sit on it, it feels so light, even just because everything's low down.
I think all good made heavy bikes do look heavy, and they are heavy. But when they're made well and properly, that's what they're designed. Is once you sat on them and moving, there's no weight. All your centrifugal forces take all that away, and it's just gliding down the road.
The ZZR 1400, I mean, like when you lift that up off the side stand, you wouldn't necessarily think it was a heavy bike, because all the weight of the engine's so low down. You know how the engine bulges at the bottom, Simon? So like all the way, they've got it absolutely perfect with the balance of the weight. It's only like when you're going into a corner too hot and you're needing to wash speed off, that's when you feel the weight of that bike. I would even
GTR,
say slow manoeuvring, I wouldn't say was terribly bad in the ZZR. I don't know what the GTR's like, but
GTR's the same. Slow manoeuvring, I can turn it around in the road like you can on a 125, more or less.
You see,
little slightly wider, obviously, because of the steering not different. But yeah.
I mean, if you move that GS the way I was taught when I passed my test in 2003, you roll the bike against your side and you walk around with it. It's not a heavy bike. It's honestly, you can move it around, you can pull it backwards and forwards. It is a heavy bike, but if you can maneuver a ZX6, you can maneuver that. It's having the position on your body to be able to move it properly.
I think moving bikes, are you talking manually moving bikes?
Yeah.
I think that's always been technique rather than pure strength.
Yeah.
You've got to have the technique to have the bike upright, so you're not holding any weight left or right, and hands and everything levering in the right places will move any bike backwards and forwards. You can move a Gullwing as easy as
it's funny. It's funny because because I've got the ZX9 and the ZZR in the lockup just now, and the two bikes obviously when they're on their side stand, they're quite close together. Well, with the ZZR just now, I can grab onto the mirrors and the stems of the mirrors to lift the bike up and just roll it straight forward, perfectly balanced, and sit it back down again. It's I think it comes from experience as well, and the handling and knowing where the balancing points of each individual bike is.
Sweet spot.
About that, I use HBB motorcycles, Darren Spears, and he's been doing motorbikes for 30, 40 years or whatever it is he's been doing bikes for. And every time I see him moving a bike around, he does it with my bike the same as he does it with a ZX6 or a. He moves it round like there's no weight in it at all. The only time there is weight, obviously, going up and down the ramp, but he moves my bike round. I'm like, I couldn't do that.
Yeah,
not the way you're doing it. That's just, I'd be scared shitless.
I do think some people have got that knack where they can just manhandle the bike kind of quite easy. Do you know what I mean? Where I'm the type of person where it's got to be against my hip, and it's once it's against your body, you can alter the lean angle on the bike then, and do you know what I mean? You can get it on the side stand or the centre stand or whatever you want to do. Then do you know what I mean? It's a bit easier, but my mate literally just got the.
I want to go back to the electronic suspension and what that takes away, the feeling that takes it away from you. Now I put up a video. I think it's the last but one. I didn't see that before I ran through it. Now I'm doing a right-hand corner. I was about 50 miles an hour on the road. It was a 90-degree bend, and I was being a bit lazy, so I sort of drifted towards the middle of the lane, like you do. Didn't see the line of gravel. Now I saved the bike going off to the left-hand side of the road because I started reacting before the bike started slipping, because I felt the front hit something that wasn't normal, just straight tarmac. So I automatically did a lift. You do it automatically after a while, don't you? You sort of do a lift off and you start trying to stand the bike up, but then lean it over again because you can feel it's about to go. And I did get a slip. Admittedly, it was probably only a 3 or 4 inch slip sideways. But at one stage, I was heading for the tree at the side of the road, and it's kind of case of, and I just carried on. And I am convinced in my own head that if I couldn't feel that gravel under the wheel before it started slipping, I may not have actually saved it through that corner.
Mm-hmm.
It's just something in my own head. It's my feeling that the bike, you're part of that bike, and it's talking to you, and you're talking back to it, and how you treat it is how it reacts. So but yeah,
when I got the ZZR 1400, it was December, and I rode it all the way through the winter, and that was probably the best sort of learning curve that you could have possibly imagined, because obviously through the winter and the road conditions, the grip levels were pretty poor, to be quite honest, but you obviously get a lot of feedback from the back end if you just squirt the throttle just that wee bit too much, back end just stepping out. I've never been one for tensing up or anything like that when that happens, because I kind of understand why it's happened and what the outcome's going to be like if you just sort of roll the throttle.
When things like that happen, you'll find automatically your body is twisting and moving to counter it, whilst remaining calm and relaxed, if you like, and dealing with it. And all of that keeps the bike nice and stable, because you're an experienced rider. It's all automatic. To try and explain to someone how to do it, you'd never manage it.
No,
it's something you have to experience. And Peaky, what Boo Rider's saying about there? He's got a BMW 1000RR Carbon Edition.
Mate, I bust my pelvis when I was
You and me both.
when I was in Almeria. So I just honestly, I've my mate's got a little ZX6. Literally 20 minutes.
Yep.
My hips are killing. My knees are hurting. My shoulders are hurting. I bust my wrists a lot of times. So that forward position. Hold on, where am we? That forward position, leaning like that, where all the weight's there, on your shoulders, on your hips, because you're not positioned. You obviously on a GS, you're sat like this. You're sat like on an armchair.
Sit up and beg, isn't it? Yeah.
When you're on a sports bike, you're aggressive. You've got to be over the bike, manhandling the bike. My wrist now.
Actually, I don't know how Boo does it, but hats off to him. But if you put me on a sports bike, that's 20 minutes. I'm the same. Yeah.
I just couldn't do it, and that's genuine. I just couldn't do it now. My body, it's been broken too many times. I just can't do it now.
I'm just too fucking old. So.
Oh yeah, I'm just broken.
I mean, I find the VFRs perfect for me. I mean, it's not an all out sports bike. It's slightly more raised than what a normal, clip-on, handlebar bike would be, because it is just that wee bit higher.
It's a sports tourer than a sports, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, and it's that happy medium, and it might be that you're not that sitting up that much more than you would be on a sports bike, but I feel with the Africa Twin, you're sitting on it. On the VFR, you're sitting in it. There's a difference. And I feel with the VFR, I feel like the bike's part of me when I'm doing stuff, whereas on the Africa Twin, I feel I'm on the bike and I'm doing what I want with the bike, but I don't feel like I'm in the bike and part of it. I don't feel like it's part of me. Maybe that's the attraction with a
So when you're on the VFR, can you get, obviously, there's a massive difference there. So when you're on the VFR, you can manhandle the bike into corners, or if you have a quick corner, you can manhandle it into a corner. Where when you're on a big a GS or a Honda, it's obviously, because you're in a different riding style, it's a little bit easier to get into the corners because you're sat up and you can counter steer.
You've got those big bars to cantilever, haven't you? You've got them big bars. Yeah. You've got the wider, bigger bars, which make it so much easier just to push it into the corners. Yeah.
And also you're sitting up fucking higher as well. So you've sat taller, and you can see through the corner, and 90% you can see where you want to go. Where if you're on a sports bike, you're like that, fucking head down, arse up. And
I'll tell you another thing.
Really.
Tell you another thing as well. When you're on an adventure bike, you can see above the cars as well, which is a big benefit, because you don't realise just how much you can see until you're back to like a sports bike, and you see
I used to call that. Excuse me. I used to call that like a road presence, because you're so much higher, you've got more road presence because you can see more around you. And you're also actually more visible because you're higher up.
Yeah.
See, I do stand up quite a lot, and it's not because I want to stand up. I'm looking above the traffic just to see when I can overtake. Really, do you know what I mean? I'm looking. I'm like, yeah, sweet. I know there's 3 cars, and then I know there's a 8-car gap. So I'm like 1, 2, 3, sweet, out, in. And
plus, you can when you stand up, you're actually physically standing up. On a sports bike, if you try and stand up, your ass is in the air. That's it.
You're like a prostitute, are you? But I know what you're saying.
We was getting all serious for a minute.
But it's a different style. It's a completely different style of riding. I couldn't now go back. I'm only 45. I've lost. I went to the hospital and I had 33 breaks on my wrists, and I had a tracked out malady, and I drove my van back, loaded my bike up and everything. I come back home, Went to New Cross Hospital, had 33 breaks on my wrists. And, you know, they was like, how have you got here? I'm like, I've loaded my van up, come back, parked my van up, I've walked here. That's how I've got here. And I still had all my levers on, my gloves, apart from my helmet. That was me done. I went in with all my levers on. And, you know, you that's... Sometimes, you know, when you've hurt yourself and you're like, I need to get to an hospital, but also I need to get home as well.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
That's the I can do attitude, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a bit of that in there. Yeah, I agree.
No, it's one of them, you know, when you go on the track days, especially on your own, which I did quite a lot. I did track days on my own quite a lot. So, you know, especially on the local track days, you feel like you can push a little bit more because you're only 40, 50 minutes away kind of thing. So it's not as bad kind of thing if you can just crack on and if gosh, you crash. Everybody crashes. If you're doing any kind of track day riding or racing or anything, you're gonna crash. It's as simple as that. But you've got to have that mentality where, you know, I bust my wrist and still did a 3-hour endurance race and went to the hospital 6 hours later and I bust my wrist after like 3 laps of falling off. But it's just one of the things, you know, it's your adrenaline's going and all the rest of it, and you kind of, as a bloke said to me once, suck it up, buttercup. You got to crack on. Do you know what I mean? And
God, how many times have we all heard that? Suck it up, buttercup. Get on with it.
That's what it is. That's what it is. You got to just.
I'd love to do a track day, but I'd love to do it on the Viffer. And I know people say it's not a sports bike; it's a 30-year-old sports touring bike. But it's what it is. You know, for me, it's a V4. It's old school. It's just perfect for me, you know, and the seating position, everything about it is really good. I just love it, and I'd love to take it around the track, but I'd hate to drop it. You know, because it is. I've spent a lot of money on it, getting it looking as original as possible, and I just really want to drop it.
That's the difference in a track day and racing. A track day is about you. You go and enjoy yourself on that track. You ride to your ability on that track. Don't matter what anybody else is doing. If every man and Jack overtakes you, it don't matter. As long as you come off that track with a smile on your face, it don't matter. Honestly, it really don't. I've done it before. I've took other people's bikes out, and you know, you're going around like Miss Daisy because you don't want to drop it. But you come back in and I've had a smile on my face. And I'm like, I've really enjoyed that. It's about overtaking people or cutting people up into a bend or whatever. It's about that experience for you and your bike. Do you know what I mean? You know, racing's a little bit different when you do endurance racing and stuff like that. It's all about being the first over the post. It's about your lap times and the continuity of everybody in that group being the same over and over and over and over again, which is a good brotherhood. I left the army, and that's what I was seeking. Really, was a brotherhood. You know, somebody who thought the same as me, had the same mentality as me, had the same banter as me. You know what I mean? I don't want to sit there saying something and people are like, oh, don't say that, mate. You can't say that. You know what I mean? It's all that way inclined. But track days are absolutely brilliant, and you can learn as a rider. You can learn so much just doing literally a couple of track days. You can benefit so much from road riding from just doing a couple of track days. Learning your bike, learning your body position, learning how to take a corner properly, and just like just simple things like, oh, my handlebars need to be a little bit higher or a little bit lower or a little bit wider. You know what I mean? You get all this movement because you can come back in after 20 minutes and you go, oh, my shoulders are hurting. Where they hurting at the back? Right, you need to push your handlebars out. Push your handlebars out. The pain in the shoulders stop. Do you know what I mean? And you can benefit so much from doing a track day, and it's not about, like I say, overtaking people or anything like that. It's about a proper learning experience.
Yeah.
You as a rider and your bike gathering information for you and your bike. That's that's how I saw it.
I know. I mean, I keep saying it, but I definitely need to do it. I mean, I'd love to do Knock Hill. I'd love to just have a
Knock
a
Hill's
track day
amazing.
around there. Yeah,
Amazing. It's proper. It's as grippy in the wet as it is in the dry Knock Hill.
Yeah,
it's like Anglesey. It's phenomenal, honestly. And like I say, you learn so much as a rider yourself. Do you know what I mean? When you start braking, you're like, oh man, I could have braked like another 30 meters. Do you know what I mean? And you start finding your point then, and then not saying you've got to race on the road, but you can take that onto the road.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So that when you're panicking into a corner and you're like, oh, no, I'm all right. All I've got to do is, a bit of back brake, bit of front brake, counter steer, let the front brake off, tip in, look where I don't want to go. And you're all right. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I've got to give it a go, without a doubt.
That's what I'd like to do with the GS. Like I said, I'd like to do a bit of a track down the GS, I just want to give it a bit of a fucking thrash, if I'm honest. I was probably never going to give it a bit of a
track racer ain't left you, even though you got a grandfather adventure bike, has it? So.
That's all I want to do. I just want to give another.
Well, I'll tell. I mean,
I want 2 photos. I want one with my knee down, and I want my second one in the wet with my knee down. That's me done then.
Yeah, then you're quite happy. Yeah. I'll tell you what. See, when I was at the weekend, there was, I would say, probably 80% of the bikes were adventure bikes. No question. You would have a few VFRs and 1 or 2. In fact, I think there was one guy there on a blade with his panniers and stuff on the back, and I was like, "That's the most uncomfiest bike ever." When you see him on it, this guy must have been about 5'11". And you see him on that bike with his panniers and his backpack, and he just looked so uncomfy.
See, I rode to the. I went from the West Midlands literally down to the Hearts Mountains in like 18 hours on a Triumph 675 with a day sack and a little like fanny pack at the back of my bike. That's all I took. I was in absolute fucking rag for 18 hours. It was just extremely fucking uncomfortable. However, once we got there and we got to the hotel, through the arts, that 675 was by far the best bike that you could have had, 100%. I wish now, I've said to a couple of lads, let's hire some bikes, take them down to the Hearts, put them on a trailer, take them down to the Hearts, and go and have a blast round. I wouldn't ride there again unless I had to, but a sports bike down at the Hearts, absolutely phenomenal, amazing.
Yeah.
And like I say, there ain't many coppers at the Hearts neither, because they're all doing the B500, which is the Black Forest area. So you can get down there and you can, if you want to, if the sports lads are listening, if you want to get down there, you want to have a play, go down there and have a play, because there's just literally no coppers, because everybody's down at the Black Mountain on the B500 trying to catch people on the B500.
Right. Yeah.
But it was just for me now, I'm at the point in my life where my body is obviously crashing a lot. I need a bike that I can sit on for 5, 6, 7, 8 hours, and I ain't gonna get off, and I feel I've got to unfold like fucking RoboCop. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
Well,
I know.
No, do that for you. Yeah.
GF does. I mean, I did notice that with Africa Twin as well, going down to the Wild Bad weekend, that it was like you could be in the saddle for 2-3 hours and you just step off it and you don't feel any different. It's great.
Yeah. That's what I felt on the BM, to be fair, when I did this big tour, because I jumped on somebody else's tour, and they was having like 8, 9, 10, 11 hours in the seat, and I was like, fucking, when the fuck are we going to stop here for a coffee or a fucking bit of cake or something? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just want to fucking pull over for a bit now. You know what I mean? But that was like fucking trekking, but at no point did I get off the bike and you're like, fuck, or you're making, or you feel tired of riding the bike. And I never got to that point on the bike where I was like, I've had a fucking enough now. I've had enough of riding, but I could have quite easily kept riding the bike, if that makes sense.
Yeah. It's not your body telling you; it's just your brain saying, "I need coffee and cake."
Yeah. I need cake is the main thing. Well, yeah. But that's just me. Like when I do tours of my, like the army lads who I go away with, because we all serve together. So when I do tours of us, we've been in the bike probably more than 5 hours. And realistically, we're stopping and photos and fucking around and all the rest of it. It's a 9-hour day, but we was in the saddle for like 10 hours. And sometimes you get off and you're just like, I've had a fucking enough now. Do you know what I mean? All I want to do is fucking have a beer. I don't have fuck all to eat. I just want to have 6 or 7 pints and go to bed. You know what I mean? But yeah, but that's from the tour I've learned from the tour I've just come off, because I've never done a tour with anybody else. I've only toured with the tours that I've done, if that makes sense. I've done the tours with me and my lads, and then I've jumped on somebody else's tour, and I've learned so much from that what are you doing right or what you're doing wrong, and it's for me, it's made a massive difference.
Yeah.
Right, boys, I'm gonna head for the house. I've got a busy day tomorrow, so
I need to shoot as well, guys. That's 11:30. I'm up early tomorrow. I've got young kids I need to get.
All these kids have got to go to bed early. Look,
I'm going for a wee. I'll be back in 2 minutes.
I'll look for you in 2 minutes then, Petey.
Right, guys. Thanks for having us on.
Good.
No bother.
Yeah, no, you're welcome, mate. Thanks for coming along.
Mate.
Nice chatting to you. Take care of yourself.
Catch
All
you
the
later.
best.
Cheers.
See you later. Bye-bye.
Zed, same to you, mate. Yeah. And now it's just me. Anybody else want to join us? Anybody else want to come in? Exeter, come on. I know you love a good chat. German, Christopher. Any of you still awake? Want to join us? No? Okay. I'll just sit here on my own then. One of them days. Anybody got any questions while you're there? I'll see what I can answer. Come on. And if it's electric, you get banned from the chat. Just stop somebody typing. Are you off boating? Oh man, everybody's got to be up early tomorrow. Look, I can finally get a lay in tomorrow past 4 a.m. and everybody's got to be up early. What's going on? What's going on, Becky?
Don't work weekends. 12 o'clock Friday. That's me done.
Poets Day, out the door. Yeah.
Yeah, that's me done, mate.
To be honest with you, that's usually me. I'm the same. Usually,
mate, I still work within the military, so it's if any of the guys out there listening, it's army hours. So you got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 8 till 4. Wednesday's sports afternoon, so you finish at 1:30, and then a Friday's 12 o'clock finish. So I'm all right, to be fair. Do you know what I mean? It's a nice cushy little number for me.
Nice. Yeah. Well, I'm a union rep for Royal Mail, and we're contracted for a 37-hour-a-week attendance. This week I've done enough hours to take the next 2 weeks off on toil. But it don't work like that because we're in the middle of industrial dispute and everything else. In fact, the last 2 weeks have been quite busy for me. And yeah, but normally my normal week is a Friday. You won't see me latest 2 in the afternoon. That's it. My week. I'm ready. That's my weekend started.
Yeah.
I'll be in again 8 o'clock Monday. I'm a 2-phone guy as well, so I've got a work phone, union rep phone, and I've got my own phone. All the people that need it have got my own phone number, but yeah, the work phone usually gets plugged in and left in another room, and I might check it over the weekend, make sure there's no emergencies on there. Nothing's burned down. Anything burned down? No, right, good, fine, put it down again.
Yeah. Have a look every now and again.
Yeah,
that's right.
If it starts making lots of noise, I know something serious has happened.
Yeah, I mean, I've gone from the military to the civil service now, so we had a pay rise in fucking 2 years. But my job is it suits me for what I'm doing. It's not a massive amount of money, but I get a lot of benefits from working there. There's 14 people who work there, and with the 14 people that work there, I serve with 9 of them. So for me, it's for my head. It's good. Do you know what I mean? It helps me.
Well, I've done 20 years for Royal Mail almost, and before that, I did 10 years for the ambulance service. I really miss the ambulance service job. I really miss the nitty gritty of helping and dealing with people. But I left for one reason and another, and I started working for Royal Mail, and I joined Royal Mail before it was privatised, and you had to go through in school and all sorts of hoops you had to jump through to join. And it was a really good job, and it was a worthwhile job, and it was a well-paid job. And in that 20 years, I've seen the job be eroded until privatisation, and then we had privatisation, and got eroded some more, and now it just seems to be about let's make as much profit as we can, because then we can pay the shareholders a big lump of money. And you workers, you want to pay rights? But we can't afford it because we're giving the shareholders £400 million.
It's the same as the gas. It's the same as the electric aid, and that's one of the reasons why when I was in the military, I never wanted to. When I got out, I didn't want to move back to the UK. I didn't want to come back here.
I don't blame you.
It was, my wife and obviously my kids at the time. They lived here, but their families here. But if it was solely my decision, mate, I want to come back to the UK. 100%. I just wouldn't have done, because you've just absolutely smashed left, right, and Chelsea with everything. And it's like now with the gas and the electric, I'm only on like £20,000 a year, working where I'm working, and they put my bill up from £120 a month to £361, and I'm like, I can't afford that. I've got 3 kids. I've got a daughter who's 20, who's pregnant with a kid now. How am I going to afford that? Explain to me. I'm paying you £100 less than what I'm paying for my mortgage. That's stupid. You just people like maintain that level of payment. You just can't do it. And
I mean, I know with the fuel crisis, as they're calling it, they're talking about the Ukraine and Russian restricting, and it's bollocks, absolute bollocks, mate.
Mate, they're getting fuel from all over the fucking world. My mate lives in Australia. He was saying that the European pipeline is getting hammered left, right, and Chelsea.
Yeah.
And you're just like, well, you trying to blame Ukraine and the Russian war, but you ain't even getting the fucking petrol and diesel from there. You're getting the oil from fucking Australia. You ain't even get it from there. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
You kind of.
I've got a very good friend I work with who's very much into his facts and figures and everything else, and he said, "Here, look at this," and he was showing me a graph of how much gas countries have stored and how that works out into how they generate that into kilowatts of energy.
Yeah.
So he said, "Look at this, how much Germany have got," and I can't remember the exact figures, so I'm going to say 200 kilowatts. It was probably more than that. But I'm going to say, for example, they had 200 kilowatts of energy stored with their gas for generating electric. I went, well, that's good. Germany uses, say, 50 kilowatts a day. So they've got 4 days worth of in storage. And
in the bank.
yeah, again, the price isn't as much as ours, and they're still building and buying and everything else. I went, okay. He said, look at the UK, it's got 10 kilowatts in storage. And I went, 10? He went, yeah. Guess how much we use a day? I went, I don't know. He said 36, for example. It was like 3 times the daily use is more than what we got in storage. I said, why? Why are we not, doing this?
Yeah, but it's like the energy that we produce now with the wind farms. We store it in France.
Yeah.
We don't store it in the UK. We store it in France.
Yeah.
So
That's right.
we have to pay France to fucking store it, and then we have to pay France to get it back. I'm like,
yeah. Why?
Why? What is the? I don't understand now. Yeah, you know what I mean, it's like the M6 top. It's like the M6 top. I live in the Midlands. The M6 top. That's French owned now.
Yeah.
All that money that people are going up and down the toll, it's going to the French pocket. It's ain't going into our pocket. It's ain't nothing to do with us now. We built it. We made the debt, and it's going into their pocket now.
That's because they sold it. Because everything in this country, they do everything and then sell it. And these foreign countries that have got a bit of money go, yeah, I'll have that because I'm going to make a fortune out of your country. Thank you very much. I'll siphon all the money off, and guess what? I'll take it all tax free.
Yeah,
because I'm not.
Mate, it's ain't daft, is it? At the end of the day, if somebody said to me, you're only going to earn, for example, this is going to cost you 450 million. Sound? How much do I earn? 10 million a year. So 45 years, it's fucking paid for. But I know that in 45 years, the progression is going to get more.
Ponks is just fucking. He just made my art. Oh, I love it. Yeah, absolutely. Because privatization. This is the big thing about privatization. Privatization is designed to generate competition to make things cheaper. Yeah. It doesn't. It doesn't when you privatize companies which have a monopoly. So, water, electric, gas is a monopoly company. You privatize it, then they can put the prices up to pay the shareholders, which now hold shares, which demand money.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the shares crash and your company goes bust, and they go, "Oh, fair enough," whatever.
But you look at France now. That their payments have only gone up £50.
Yeah.
Because they own 90% of the gas and electric and the energy companies.
Yeah. I've got someone was talking about privatization again is for the rail. So all our rail networks over here are privatized, and it costs you a fortune to go anywhere by train. A friend of mine had said his friend was in Germany and spent the month traveling around Germany on a train for about €6 because it's state owned. If you make it cheap, people use it. You don't clog up your road.
Well, you will do it because you just think to yourself then, as a person, you think, well, I don't need to buy a car because it's going to cost me £3,000 to buy a car. It's going to cost me £600 to insure it. It's going to cost me £300 tax or whatever. Or I can get the buzz every day, and it's going to cost me £1,000 for the year.
Yeah, you're going to get a bus, aren't you?
Yeah, you're never going to get to that point where you're like, I need to fucking buy a car.
No.
You're never going to get to that point. In fact, you're going to probably buy, like the lad I was talking to in Germany. He got his missus to pass her motorbike test, and his son, and now they haven't got a car. They just ride motorbikes. They've not got a car now. He says if we go on holiday, we either fly or we catch a train.
9, not 6, so it's 9. Yeah. Wow, that's unbelievable. Yeah, here you go. Boxes, isn't it? Yeah, they charge what they like.
That's correct. That's correct. Yeah.
Good old Maggie. Yeah, we're going back to the Thatcher era.
Maggie, good old Maggie.
Yeah. All right. I did an interview with Free Counties Radio around here today, and one of her questions to me was, why do you think there are strikes going on in the RMT, so the trains and all these other strikes, and where can you see it ended up? And she was alluding towards a general strike, which the TUC may or may not call. And I said, well, there's one common denominator in all of these industries, is pay. The workers are not being paid. Millions of money has been siphoned off the shareholders and CEOs and chairmen and members of the board, and these companies are making millions in profit, but none of it is coming back to the workers. And now we have a cost of living crisis, and that is why, because you've not paid the workers. You pay your workers. They earn enough money to go out spending and buying things, luxury items, and that brings all your inflation rates and everything down because everybody has surplus cash.
Yeah.
You take the money away from the general populace, and people aren't buying things, so things sit on the shelves and everything else for longer, and the price goes up because they're not selling as many. If you can build 100,000 cars for £10 a car, but you can build 200,000 cars for £8 a car. There you go. So that's how it all works. But yeah, they're not going to listen.
It was like I watched a program this morning with Martin Lewis on there, and he basically was saying if you've not had a 10% increase in your pay within the last 3 years, so from 3 years to now, if you've not had 10% increase, you're under inflation. So you're going to be basically massively fucking down on your money, which is what we're doing now.
Someone said to me, and I haven't seen the basis or the facts behind this, but someone said to me that they read somewhere that we have more food banks in the UK now than McDonald's.
Yeah.
That's got to tell you something.
Mate, in Wolverhampton, there's probably 40 food banks in Wolverhampton town centre, and mate, that ain't for the homeless.
No,
that ain't for the homeless.
No.
Do you know what I mean? I have a lot to do with homeless charities, ex-veteran charities, and people who just fell on hard times. I have a lot to do with that, and you look at yourself then, and you're just like, you know what? For us as a family, we've cut back massively. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We have,
we can't just. I mean, I'm a family of 5, and my daughter's pregnant now, so we're going to be 6 soon. And we can't just pop out for dinner. You can't pop out and have a £40 pub lunch. We went out the other day to a Marston's pub, local to us, Marston's pub, and it was 77 quid for 5 of us, and we only had 1 drink each. And it more like I sat there drinking beer, and we'd ordered everything because we had 1 meal each. We had a couple of chips.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was extravagant, and it was 77 quid. And you think to yourself, that's a treat now.
Yeah, I've been there, done that. Yeah,
we do that 2 or 3 times a week. When now, because the amount the money's got up, you just think to yourself, that's once every couple of weeks now.
Right, Pete, I'm going to leave you in charge for a minute. Tell the people about yourself because I need a wee.
Right then. So, I'm ex-Staffords. I'm a Army veteran. I did 14 years in the Staffordshire Regiment, the Principal Houses. I got out in 2007. Bounced from job to job to job to job to job. 3 years ago, I got diagnosed with PTSD, and since then, that's when I started my channel. My channel isn't about PTSD. My channel's about riding your bike, going out, because that's my release. That's down to me. That's me getting my head centered, if that makes sense. So all I want to let you guys know is, you know, there's a lot of people out there dealing with mental health issues and all the rest of it. So don't feel embarrassed about accepting that you've got mental health issues, or even go to the doctors and saying you've got mental health issues. Because at the time I didn't know. I'd heard about PTSD, but I didn't actually know that I had PTSD until I got tested. I just thought that I was a bit out there. I drank a bit too much, you know. So for you guys who are having issues, and it's not solely to do with army personnel. It can be people with the railway, with the suicides and stuff like that. So, you know, you've got to open up, and it took me a long time to get to a point where I can talk and accept and explain to people what PTSD is about, why it occurs, and also know how to get through it. Because we all have them dark moments. We all have the moments where it's like, oh, fuck, I've had a fucking enough. We all have the moments. But you've got to look at a little bit further ahead. And unfortunately for me, you know, I've had a lot of friends commit suicide through PTSD, and that's a struggle. But all I'd say is come out, explain yourself. Once you've got that off your chest, that makes a massive difference. And it's not about, you know, it's not about the army, because I've got 2 or 3 friends who are train drivers who have got PTSD with the scenarios that have happened to them. So you've got to talk. You've got to, if you ever feel like you've been in that scenario that you've had enough, because we've all been there. If you've been low enough, you've been there, and you've got to kind of socially accept that there's people there for you. There's people with a hand out there who are willing to help you as an individual. So don't kind of feel like you're never on your own, or because that's how I felt. You know, a fair few years ago. You know, no, go on.
I was going to say, when you are suffering and you feel in that place, that box that there's no way out of, the hardest thing for anybody to do is to talk to someone. But that is really hard, and the hardest thing I think for men to do, and you'll understand this, is because there's a mentality. And I come from a part Italian background, which is the men didn't suffer. The men never cried. You're a man. You don't do that. You're a man. Yeah. Man up. Yeah. I call it man syndrome. You're a man, so you don't show your emotions. You don't get upset. You are everybody's rock. Everybody leans on you. It's all down to you. And that is just pressure in itself. And then when you suffer a traumatic event, and I've had several, 10 years working for the ambulance service really fucked me up. I know where you're coming from. I know where you've been. And yeah, I said to Zed earlier in the stream, I said, I was at one point, I was in a really, really bad dark place. And it's only because of what my wife picked up the signs and she got me talking and it all came out and I ended up at the doctors and everything else. And, and I was suffering with all these things. I'm now thankfully out the other side of it. And I've done a lot of mental health first aid and learning signs and things and the serious signs and I talk and help people now. And people in the chat here will know I speak to someone we all know and who's really suffering so just lately. And I've been talking to him. There's another guy in my bike group that's suffering a breakup in his relationship, and I'm on the phone with him a lot. I'm a union rep in a building of 500 and something people, and they all come to me with their problems, and you sit there and you soak it up. But sometimes you sit there and you sort of think, well, everybody's using me as a soundboard, or I'm soaking up everybody's problems. Who's looking after me?
Yeah,
and
100%.
that can sometimes be really hard to do because you then need an outlet. You need to do something.
You need a release then.
Yeah.
It's like a pressure cooker, and for me, what I'd like to say is I don't think you for me, you're never going to be over it. Do you know what I mean? I know the level I'm at, if that makes sense. I'm never going to be completely over what I've saw, what I've experienced, and I'm never going to get over that. But I'm at the point in my life now where I can kind of see my kids as a good thing. Not saying that they're a bad thing, but at certain moments in time when you're down and you feel hatred towards yourself, you tell your kids and your missus, you hate yourself, and it's quite fucking difficult as a bloke or as an individual to sit there and accept how you feel and kind of sit there and say, you know what, I need to sort myself out here, and to hit that bottom point and start rebuilding. It depends how low that bottom point is, because mine was pretty low. Do you know what I mean? I was, seriously committing things that I want to do in my head.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But at that moment in time, that was the only way out. That was the only option I had. But I've kind of pulled myself out of it. I spoke to people. I spoke to friends. I don't speak to family because, if I'm being brutally honest, I don't want my family to know what I've experienced, what I've saw. I've spoken to my missus about a few things, but I don't want to. It might sound pretty bad, but I don't want her to know what.
Yeah, I mean,
the level of what you saw, kind of thing. If that makes sense.
I mean, my wife, she's aware of some of the things I did in the ambulance service, because at one stage I used to talk about it a lot, but I never used to go into detail. And when you're sitting there sometimes and you'll see something on the TV or someone will say something and it brings up that image, that can be really disturbing sometimes.
Yeah.
And what I've learned is it's not forgetting. It's not what's the word I'm looking for? Fuck me, I'm tired. It's not forgetting about it, but it's a way of dealing with it.
Yeah, being able to do it, not forgetting, but you've got to put it in your past, kind of thing. It's
one of my favourite sayings, and I used it today. One of my favourite sayings was, "Give me the strength to change the things I cannot accept, and accept the things I cannot change." And that I sort of took that saying when I saw it with both hands, and I thought, actually, that's what you have to do.
Yeah.
You know, you can't change it, so accept it. You can't accept it. Can you change it? Yeah, change it. Do it. And yeah.
100%.
But one thing I've noticed with a lot of people, obviously, quite big around the biking community, and that one thing I've found that helps a lot of people that are bikers is actually getting out on the bike, and that helps an awful lot with a lot of people. And I think it's because while you're out riding, not necessarily pushing it to the limit, but you, it's like a blinker effect. I'm riding my bike. Everything else is pushed to the back and pushed to the side. That's it. The goggles. Yeah.
Tunnel vision.
Yeah.
Don't worry about anything else.
Nothing else matters other than what I'm doing at the moment, because if I don't do it right, we end up in a bad place. So it's concentration, it's doing it. And then you start to train your brain to do that at many tasks, not just riding a bike. You can do it at many tasks. And you find yourself, you can be doing that day in, day out, day in, day out with your normal life. It's right. This is what I've got to do. This is what I've got to do. And it makes you focus. That's the word I'm thinking of. It's focus. And that helps.
You're totally right there, 100%. And for me, that's why I've done 10,500 miles of owning the bike for 9 months, because that's my releasement. That's, you know, it's kind of, I still drink a lot, but I don't drink as much as I did do.
Yeah.
But because I know that the next day, like, for example, I mean, tomorrow's a bit different, but like on a Friday night, I'm like, yeah, I'll have 4 to 5 bottles because I planned a route and I'm going out my bike tomorrow. So that kind of slows that pressure down of the drinking, if that makes sense. So you can, then you kind of can think to yourself, right, I've planned that route, so I need to get up at 6:30, for example. And I know that if I have, I don't know, fucking 8 or 9 cans, I ain't getting up at 6:30. So I need to think to myself, right, I'm only having 3 or 4 cans, because I can get up at 6:30 and I can go into the ride and I can go and clean my head and I can go and relax myself, come back, and then you're a completely different person than what you was before.
Yeah. There you go. Wind therapy. It's amazing. It works. It does. It does. Whoever thought up that wind therapy phrase is absolutely brilliant, and he hit the nail on the head. Just he is getting out there and doing and
Wind
focusing.
therapy. Mate, I like that. That's and that honestly, it's made a massive difference for me. Honestly, from me stopping racing, from that adrenaline rush of, you know, barreling into a corner, hopefully I'll get through it, to now I can go and ride my bike and just bimble through somewhere.
I like to think myself in a privileged position because I ride my bike every day. I commute and I do 60 plus miles every day. One day last week I did 170 something miles in my job and my role. And what I find great about that is, between doing my bits and pieces I've got to do, I'm on my own and I'm doing the tunnel vision, I'm doing the concentrate and everything else. If I was in a car, I would be answering the phone, talking to people, and it wouldn't go away because driving a car is so much easier, and I can do it without having to concentrate, if you like, because I've got this
multifunctional. Like driving a car now, it's like driving a car. It's multifunctional. You can put your music on, you can answer the phone,
and you're constantly sat in traffic. You're only ever concentrating on 1 or 2 cars ahead. You're not really thinking about changing lanes or filtering or anything like that. You are just sat there, and that lets your brain then wander. and that's when. So I'm quite. I consider myself quite fortunate. It's nearly 20-something thousand miles a year, and it's me with my arse in the saddle on my own, and I do consider myself fortunate for that, and it's helped me leaps and bounds. Leaps and bounds. You do get things, and you start thinking about things, and yeah, I've come up with solutions for stuff while I've been riding my bike, because in the back of my brain, it's always been there. But now I've shut out all the noise. I can hear it.
Yeah.
All the noise is now gone. I can. Oh,
Yeah.
that's how you do it.
Yeah.
Hell, yeah.
Yeah. But like for me, I sort shit out as well in my home life or my personal life or whatever. Do you know what I mean? I can go out for a ride, come back 2 or 3 hours later. I'm like, sweet.
Yeah.
That needs doing. That needs doing. That needs doing.
Yeah.
I know now I've got a bit of a structure of what I'm doing, where I come home from work, and in the past it was like, come home from work, crack a can, have a few beers, and then next thing you know, it's 7 o'clock. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're ordering food or whatever you're doing. Family's
Yeah.
around, and you're half cut already.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And that's purely down to your your state of mind, basically.
Yeah.
And I don't want to. What I don't want to do is like keep blaming like PTSD, which is I don't. I genuinely I don't want to do that, because it's my head. If that makes sense, do you know what I mean?
That is you coming out.
Sometimes I can wake
That's
up in
you
the morning.
coming out the other side. That's you coming out the other side, isn't it? That's the
Yeah,
tunnel,
yeah,
and
yeah,
you coming
yeah,
through, and you coming out the other side. So yeah,
yeah.
I get it.
I spent a lot of years in the army. I've seen a lot of trauma,
Uh-huh.
but you've got to, so is everybody else in the army, kind of thing. Yeah, and that's what people need to kind of realise. I had a mate interviewed for a job the other day, and he said to her, "Yeah, I've done 27 years in the army." She went, "Well done."
Yeah.
Well done. Well done. What's all that about? Well done. Mate, you want to be offering the job straight away, not well done. Do you know what I mean? Nowadays it seems quite acceptable for people who have done any time in military service, but
Yeah.
it's sugar shoulders. Saying, mate, I've done my bit. That's sad. Do you know what I mean? It don't matter about what you've saw or what you've experienced or how you've had to cope with certain scenarios when you've been in combat zones or theatres of war or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's now a little bit frustrating now, because like I say, I've been on interviews where they've just totally disregarded that the fact I've been in the army. And you just think to yourself, you know what I mean? I've served my country. Do you know what I mean? I've gone to war for you to sleep in your bed at home night.
Yeah. And I
Say,
will always tip my hat to that. And
do you know what I mean?
I'm quite patriotic when it comes to that stuff. And I've been down to the Chelsea barracks a few times now, doing a little run with Help for Heroes and thing.
I do a lot with the within Wolverhampton. I do a lot with the homeless charities.
Yeah.
Within Wolverhampton. What I do is I do a lot of families, and I do a lot of ex-veterans. So if I'm struggling, then there's me and 2 others who will try and get him into accommodation, or if you can't get him to accommodation, then we're like, right, mate, we'll get you a tent, we'll get you a sleeping bag.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You ain't tonight. You ain't going to be freezing your nuts off, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Warm and dry. Yeah.
If I can't get in a building, then you are going to be cold. I've had people stopping in my garage. Do you know what I mean? I've had homeless blokes stopping in my garage, and I've had a £20,000 bike in there, sat there, and they've got I've got up at 7 o'clock. I've walked in there, and there's been nobody in there. There's been 6 or 7 people in there the night before, and nobody has touched absolutely nothing.
No.
And I'll give a lot. Old clothes, old tellies, dishwashers, washing machines, anything. Do you know what I mean? We had a fire in Dudley last week of a family, and I've given my dining table, my chairs, and my dining table tonight. I've given a television off the baby's wall because she felt fucking guilty. So I've took the baby's television off a wall. Yeah, fair enough. I bought another one, but we've took the baby's fucking TV off a wall, and that's just the type of person I am.
Yeah.
I can be an horrible bastard, but I usually. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we're more here to. I'm here to support everybody. It's like with the YouTube. It's like with your YouTube channel. Andy was talking to me. Oh, come on, do this, man. Yeah, it'll be good. And I'm like, yeah, Sam. Do you know what I mean? And I do it for me to benefit. I'm all I want to do is be able to push what I want to do, kind of thing. It's not for me personally. It's about PTSD. It's about them ex-serving soldiers. It's about having a voice. It's about people who, like I did. I got out the army and I was homeless for 3 weeks. It's a struggle. Do you know what I mean? It's hard work. So all I want to do is kind of promote that the whole genre of how difficult it is as a service personnel to come out of the army, to be a train killer, to be somebody who should fit in normal civilization, because it's pretty difficult, if I'm being brutally honest.
Yeah, and I get that. I get that totally. I really do. Yeah, I get it. You're trained in aggression and following orders and just go do without question. To what do I do now?
The thing is, mate, when you're in the army, you're more in that same bubble. You know what I mean? You all kick a door in. We've all done it, kind of thing. That's the scenario. We've all done it. We've all kicked the door in. We've all gone in there. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
But when you come into Civvy Street, that's gone.
Yeah.
That's gone. Nobody understands you. And that scenario is completely alien, because you've spent from, like I did, 15 up to 28 in the army, and you get out and then nobody really understands you or tries to help you or wonders why you're acting or why you're getting aggressive or whatever. And then all of a sudden, thankfully for me, it was my doctor who went, I think we need to give you a PTSD test. And I was like, well, I have seen people killed, I've seen dead bodies and all the rest of it, but PTSD, I thought, you've got to be stood next to somebody there to get blown up. What I realised is a progressive thing that generated wills. I didn't understand that.
Yeah.
So for me, when I got diagnosed with PTSD, for me, it was a massive shock, because I didn't actually think that I had PTSD. If that makes sense.
Yeah. That's ignoring the
Yeah, you know, it's not just about the infantry or the recce or whatever. It's about any military personnel who have spent any time in any scenario.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it's just, it is what it is. It's quite difficult to explain. If I'm trying to put it into words, but it's quite difficult to
No,
explain.
sometimes you can't put things into words, can you? It just doesn't work. Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
no,
I get it.
you know,
I get it.
and you get to a point where you just like, you know, you start feeling like I am now. You start feeling upset.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it's you can't, you know, at some point it's it is difficult. Do you know what I mean? And it don't matter where you've been. You know what I mean? You could have been Northern Ireland for 5 years, 3 years, 2 years, 1 year. Don't matter. All the places I've been, worst place I've been in Northern Ireland, worst place I've been.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that, and I really do. And you don't know how much I get that, but yeah, yeah,
But that's nice to hear that if this makes sense, that somebody else from a different experience. I'm taking you, never been anything to do with the army, but you. What I'm saying is relevant to what you're listening to.
yeah,
If that makes sense.
yeah. It does. It does. It does. And
Do you know what I mean?
I totally get it. I totally get it. 100%. And I'm with you. And I'm here for everybody that wants to talk. And I run these live streams slightly different to Red Bomb runs his. I'm not sponsored by anybody, so I'm not going to promote Soup Sausage. And I'm not going to promote my employer. I I like this as a soundboard, and people can come on, and I've had lots of people come on. There's a few people been in the side chat tonight that I know that suffer mental health issues, and some of them I've personally been on the phone with and talking to and helping, and that's what I do. Um, I'm a union representative, and as you know, I've already said I'm a mental health first aider, and I've been there, so I understand. And what you've done tonight, and you've explained, and even though I was out the room, I can still hear you talking and explaining, and you've done a brilliant job tonight. You really explained yourself, and you put your side across. And if ever I can help at all, hit me up a message on Instagram, private message me. I'll give you my number because I give that out to everybody. I'm a 24/7 kind of guy anyway, so you can call me anytime you need. I'm there for you. And as for other bits and pieces as well, I'm not anymore, but I used to be a trustee for a foundation called the Ron Todd Foundation.
Yeah.
Now you can look them up online, and they do training and all sorts of bits and pieces. But they do a lot for people that are struggling. It's usually only union card holders. So if you're a union member of any union and you're suffering, you can go to them, talk to them, and they quite often give my number out as well. And I'll end up getting phone calls from people, randoms, whenever. I've been given your number by blah blah blah, and that is what I do. And because I've been there, and I was diagnosed with PTSD for the stuff I've been through, and not 3.5 years ago, my stepdaughter committed suicide, which set me back again. But there's a company called NCDB, National Centre for Domestic Violence, which I've got very involved with in their training as well, because part of my union work is I teach, and I've been promoting their stuff as well because domestic violence has become a very big thing lately. And I really feel like I'm promoting myself, and I feel really awkward doing this. But this is what I do. But I'm always there for everybody, and anybody that watches this video on playback, or anybody that is in the side chat and that. If you need to talk to someone, and Peaky's runs stuff himself, and he's a sufferer as well. If you need to talk to someone, then that is what you need to do. When you find yourself in your darkest hole ever, the hardest thing you can do is talk to someone. But as soon as you do, it opens a window, and you can see the light, and it starts to come through. And the first step is the hardest. The rest of them are easy. So make that reach out, talk to someone, whatever your problems. Come talk to us. That's what we're here for. That's what we're here for, isn't it, Peaky?
100%, mate. And the one of the other things, if I can say it quickly, is you need to have code words.
Yeah.
Code words for your family or your friends or whatever. One of mine is, I'm having a drink with the devil. That's one of my code words. That's one of my code words that I'm like, you know what? I don't want to speak to anybody. I don't want to do anything. All I want to do is sit me down, get drunk, look after me. But I don't want to speak about anything. Do you know what I mean? And you've got to have that. You've got to have code words. Do you know what I mean? And other people, obviously, other people have got to know them code words. And you know, I've been to the point where
I know. You don't have to say it.
You're not. Do you know what I mean?
I know you don't have to say it. No, that's
do you know what I mean? I've been at that point. But what I like to say is, if you ever get to that point, then just reach out before you think about doing anything. Just drop a text message to somebody, because I guarantee you now, you send three text messages, 2 will reply instantly, and that's the difference between, unfortunately, life or death.
Yeah, it is.
And you know, it is a struggle. You know, you look at my trouble, I'm laughing and joking and all the rest of it, but on the flip side of the coin, you know, there's a completely different angle on the channel if you start looking into the channel, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, I'll start following you tonight, so I will have a look through some of your videos.
I do swear a lot, so I apologise straight away.
Now, I'll tell you what, mate. You got a rude introduction to me at the very fucking start of our meeting today, didn't you? On Red Bomb's channel, because I launched. The thing is, these fuckers start.
You went straight to fucking 9.
Yeah. The thing is, I've got another 9 after that as well, if you want.
9.25, 9.5, 9.75. Mate, it made me laugh.
I can go. You don't know how many fucking monetization things I've ruined for Red Bomb because someone started and I went on a rant, and that was it. I was gone. But that is the way I do. That is the way I do. I'm honest, and everything I say it's from the heart, and it is me. It is me. And if you look through my videos, and I know I've got a lot of subscribers now. I know I've got all these things going on with my channel, but I started my channel off with me being bored and talking while I was riding backwards and forwards to work. And someone said, "How are you going to run your channel?" I said, "I'm just going to be me."
See, I've said that to a few people. I've had a lot of people say to me, "Mate, cut down the swearing." I'm like, "Man, that's me. That's me." I can't help it. You know what I mean? I ain't.
You have to excuse me then. My internet just decided to do a fucker.
I'm an infantry soldier, mate. I fucking kick doors in and fucking shoot people. That's the fucking way I like, unfortunately.
Which battalion was you in, just out of interest?
The Staffordshire Regiment, the Prince of Wales's.
Oh, right. Excellent.
It's now the Mercians. which is who I work for now. So
You done 27 years. Do you remember the green jacket?
we're all green jackets, yeah. I had to run around everywhere.
Yeah. Everything at 120 paces, yeah.
Yeah. We used to laugh at them fuckers. Yeah, jog on.
Fuck off.
Jog on, mate. Get fucking
Now you got a
trotted.
little hint. You got a little hint on something there that nobody else knows, right? Fuck off.
But
At least I want a fucking Smurf. Anyway.
let's run a fucking monkey.
Oh yeah.
Mate, there's people sitting there going, what the fuck are these on about?
What are they fucking on about? You'll never know. You'll never know.
But,
And that's another story for a private chat sometime.
Mate,
Anyway.
that's another podcast or whatever you want to fucking call it.
Yeah, it's another fucking. That's a whole episode. We can go in that for hours, mate.
Yeah. But like I say, I spoke to Andy GSA. You know, I'll be speaking to him for a couple of weeks, and he was just like, mate, you need to get yourself on there because you know you've got a lot of fucking shit going on.
There's a bunch of fucking lunatics on there you'll get along with. That's basically it.
Well, his actual words was, "There's a bunch of dickheads, and you'll get on really well with them." His words, I was like, "Sweet, I'm all amongst that."
Yeah, fucking hard. I'll tell you what. I've only known Andy. I think for it must be about 8 years. I've only known him, and I got to know him through biking and a biking group I was invited to, and everybody said, "Oh, you got to watch him. He's a fucking nightmare. He's a nightmare." And after one conversation with Andy, I thought, I like you.
Yeah.
One, because when I talk to you, you're fucking honest.
Yeah.
If Andy thinks you're a cunt, it will tell you you're a cunt.
Yeah.
And I got on with him, and we had a bit of banter going on, and he talked me into getting a bike, which I rode for 4 years, which I thoroughly enjoyed. But at the end of it, I got bored, and I got the GTR afterwards. Yeah. And I've been on holiday with a guy. He is 100% honest, sound as a pound geezer. He, you know, if he can help you, he will. He's one of them.
I think that's the kind of mutual respect that we've got between each other on the kind of the messages. There's like no bullshit, no bollocks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You am who you am. I don't want to fucking change you and all that fucking shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're sweet. You be you, I'll be me.
Mm-hmm.
We're all good, kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? You know, it's when you start beating people and they go, you know, can you stop swearing? Can you stop doing this? Can you stop doing that? Yeah, can you stop being ginger? I can't stop being fucking ginger. You know what I mean? I'm going to be fucking grey, but I can't stop being ginger. It's actually ginger.
You could dye it all black.
That's all right. But
that's right. It don't show up well in this light, but I'm all fucking grey, actually, to be honest. But
I wish I had a fucking head of hair. I fucking tell you, I'd have a fucking proper man bud and everything. I would.
I'll tell you what. On the picket line today, someone said something about old people can't head the ball because they've got no fucking hair. So I went, I went 53 years old, and it might be all fucking grey, but it's all mine. Fuck off.
Mate, I had in the Balkans War. I was 23, and I had the anthrax jab at 23.
Oh fuck yeah!
Within 7 weeks, I was bald. Within 7 weeks, I had a full head of hair. Within 7 weeks, I was bald. Honestly,
who the bastards? Ah, Rowley's here. Roland Keith. Oh my man. Hopefully he'll join the chat quickly because I'll tell you what, I might have to go to bed soon because I've been up for 20 hours. That's
just fucking weakness leaving the body. That is.
Yeah, it is. It is. Someone said to me, I mean, I've been sending stuff out to my reps and that at like 4:30 and 5 o'clock in the morning. And then at 10:30 at night and 11 o'clock at night, they're still getting emails from me and WhatsApp messages. And they're like, what fucking shift are you working, Simon? And I went the 24-hour one. Well, you got a problem?
The 12 till 12 one.
Yeah, I'm doing midnight till midnight this week. Are you all right? It's been one of them crazy weeks. One of them crazy 4
like I say, mate, you know, I fully support most people. My mate's a train driver. You know, I've got mates who are obviously who are with Royal Mail and stuff like that. You know, I'm a civil servant, mate. I've not had a fucking pay increase in for fucking 3 years. Do you know what I mean? You know, just think to yourself, you know what the fuck am I doing? You know, and that's the point you're getting at. And that's the point most civil servants are getting at. And I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? Still doing
I mean, a postman once was a civil servant before they went privatised. Now they're not so much a civil servant.
Back in the day.
But when it comes to the COVID pandemic, they quite happily make us key workers because we're keeping the country connected. And last year we made or Royal Mail made £750 million profit. That's profit. That's above everything else, as you know how profit works. And they announced that in the January, and in the February they told us there's no money for you to have a pay rise. And we've had 1% pay rise in 2 years. So we're now into the third year. And where are we? Oh, you can have 2%. That's it. And they have made an offer, and the offer works out at an average of £8 a week pay rise, but they want to take £35 worth of allowances off you. So where's the fucking logic in that? Again, it's the CEO and the shareholders that have had £400 million worth of money, and there's nothing for you. Yeah.
So that's what Martin Lewis was saying, basically. If you've not had a pay rise up to 10% in the last 3 years, then
you're under the poverty line.
Basically, you're going to be you're going to put fucking pot to piss in, basically.
Yeah.
You know? And now I can't have. I got injured when we was in the Balkans War. Unfortunately, I got frostbite. Yeah. So I'm fucking. I struggle. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So it's a transition from warm to cold. It's a transition from fucking cold to warm. Do you know what I mean? It affects me yearly. But everybody kind of thinks that you're fucking sound. You're all right. You get a war pension. Fucking what's up with you? Yeah, fuck all, mate. You know what I mean? Tell them covering my fucking gas and electric now. What the fuck have you given me there? You know what I mean?
Anyway, Roland Keefe, he's our friend in Australia. He's our Australian contact. I'd like you to meet the Peaky Blinder, and he's our Wolverhampton contact, which is Midlands of the UK, where it's always wet.
Oh, right. It's where we say yam, and ham.
How is everybody? Pretty good?
Oh, awesome, mate. Awesome, mate. I'm up to nearly 21 hours I've been up, so I'm doing well.
Hell, that's all right. Jesus.
I've done that in my sleep.
Sleeps for wimps. Right, you introduce each other to each other because this old man needs another piss. Sorry.
Did you get your pay rise? What's happening?
Fucking no chance there. I got a fucking pray. I got a fucking pay rise. He's gone for a piss. It's like the 9th piss tonight. That is. So whereabouts in Australia were you?
I'm in South Australia, so in the city of Adelaide.
Adelaide.
Yeah.
So how far away are you from like one of our friends lives in the Gold Coast. So how far are you away from the Gold Coast?
Oh,
is that like fucking
probably about three days drive. Yeah.
Is that like a fucking proper trek?
Yeah.
Fucking hell, man.
Yeah, if you could imagine the country, I'm in the center, but right down the bottom.
I understand now because I'm 45 down, but for my 50th, so I'm going to ride from the West Midlands, which is obviously dead centre of the UK. I'm going to ride to the Gold Coast, which is where Steve, my mate, lives, for my 50th.
Wow.
So that's my aim for my 50th. So I got 5 years. So what she said.
You got 5 years. Oh, wow.
5 years. So what she said.
He's
so
only a young fucking.
I got to apply for my visa for 2 years. So I've got 3 years really to look at routes, tracks, especially through like Indonesia and them kind of countries to get through to get to Australia.
Yep. Nice.
So,
nice.
Well, Steve, my mate, has got to also. Obviously, when I come into Australia, I ain't gonna have a lot of money, so he's gonna have to fund me for me to get into Australia. He don't know that yet.
Well, if you make your way down south here, we can look after you.
Oh mate, I wish straight amongst that. Man. If some free Connor, some free food and some free beer, I'm all amongst that.
He's a man after your own heart already, isn't he, Riley?
That's it. So what sort of bike are you running?
So I've literally just bought a GSA, BMW GSA, which is what I'm looking to do the trip on. So over the next 5 years, I'm looking at doing the off-roads, the 3 levels, 1, 2, 3 off-road levels, and I'm looking at doing they do like a motorbike engineering school, so they teach you how to take stuff off and put stuff on and fix fucking all that kind of thing. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
So I'm over the next 5 years, I'm looking to do that really. Well, over the next 4 years really, and then the last year is going to be confirmation, prepping, visas, and all the rest of it really. Yeah. That's my long-term goal really. Within the next 5 years, is to ride to the Gold Coast.
That's a bloody good goal to glue yourself to too.
It's one of them, mate. You know, I watched somebody else do it on YouTube, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna fucking do that. Do you know what I mean? I'm gonna do that. It don't matter how long it fucking takes. I'm gonna book 12 months off work.
Yeah.
And they did it in 4 months. But I was like, you know what? I'm gonna fucking do that.
Yeah. One of my mates that just lives down the road. He's also a YouTuber, Bolt Bucket. And he's named appropriately because if you see his bike, it really is a Bolt Bucket. And he's just done 3 weeks in the States, and he did 14 states.
Fair play. Yeah.
And one of the great fellas over there, he bought a Honda Goldwing for him to use for the whole trip. And then when he finished, it was just sold off.
See, I'd have bought it.
This Honda Goldwing was
I'd have bought it.
I'd
have had to buy it. That was. I've had to buy the bike if that was me. If you've done that many miles and mate, he's like your partner, mate. You know what I mean? You fucking It's like kicking your dog after fucking 12 months. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's my plan. I'm 45 now. When I'm 50, for my 50th birthday, I plan on being at the Gold Coast for my 50th birthday, and I plan on riding there and missing my kids meeting me there. That's my
you'll have a pretty good blast over in the Gold Coast. Yeah.
It's going to be
no doubt you've seen a lot of pictures and stuff about it over there.
Oh mate, mate, honestly, I'm surprised he FaceTime me now, because usually on a Friday he's pissed up and he FaceTimes me. And he's like, "Yeah, this is what I've had today." You know, he goes like my little shed, and he's like, "Yeah, this is my shed." And he's got like a fucking unit. You know what I mean? It's fucking huge, and I'm like, "You're just absolute fucking cock." That's what you are. Yeah, you know what I mean? It's like a fucking warehouse. You know what I mean? It's a fucking garage. It's a fucking warehouse. But
yeah.
But he's but his eyes, like, you know what I mean? I helped him kind of with the finance moving out there and stuff like that. Like, but that's what muckers do, darling. You know what I mean? If he needs, I think he was about 10 grand short. of moving over. He needed. I don't know. You probably know more than me, but he needed so much in the bank.
Yep.
Before he moved over.
Yep.
So he was about 10 grand short.
I'm not sure right now though, because we're screaming out for workers. We're really down on workers, and I think the government's going to open up the government's about to open up the floodgates to let anybody and everybody in.
We're on our way. We'll be there. We'll be there the day after.
Yeah, look, if it's something that's got a half an interest in you, look into it.
What is it? Fucking.
Hello, you're Australian. Yeah, I'd like to come. Yeah, yeah, I'll be on the next flight. Thank you.
How fast can I get out there?
Yeah.
But yeah. You know, mate, we were saying this a bit earlier when I left the army. I never wanted to move back to the UK. I absolutely fucking detest it here. Do you know what I mean? I think it's because of the amount of time I've spent away from the UK, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, when you come back, you kind of realise how shit it is. You know what I mean? And you know,
well, with the utmost respect,
when Steve moved to Australia, I was really quite jealous. I was like, "Fuck, man, I wish I would have that, man."
Well, with the utmost respect, it's certainly a country I wouldn't want to live in.
Mate,
we're with you.
It's changed massively within the last 10 years. Massively.
Yeah.
And you're not.
Back in the early 70s, was a different story, you know. But from the early 70s onwards, I think it just went downhill real bad.
Fucking hell, that's when I was born in the 70s. Does that mean it's me?
Right. I was riding and driving in the 70s.
Fucking hell. I was born to 76.
Sorry?
I was still in
I was born to 76.
Oh, wow. Okay. Jeez.
It was one when Star Wars came out.
That's 1 year older than you.
Mate, honestly, I'd move across. If I had opportunity, mate, I'd move across to Australia tomorrow.
Yeah, well, perhaps look into it, because, like I said, we've got a massive skills shortage, and they're trying to, they're about to do something pretty serious about it and let crap tons of people in that have got any type of skills. And I think the criteria, they've really lowered the bar to try and get, because we need population. I mean, we're almost the size of America, but we've got half the population of one state, Texas.
Yeah.
The thing is you've got such a low population because everything out there will fucking kill you, eat you, or sting you.
Well, hey, look, I'm still alive.
Well, so, yeah, you've been really lucky. What up, Bells?
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
So how are things going with work and the strikes and everything?
We had our first day of industrial action today.
Right.
My unit that I work in has 550 employees. Wow. And I was on the picket line there from just gone 7 in the morning till just gone 7 at night. And in that 12-hour period, only 2 members of staff went into work.
Huh.
So it's pretty solid.
Well, only 2 went into work.
Yeah.
Okay, we know who the brown noses are.
Yeah, we know who we're going to make suffer later.
Yeah.
Actually, the Tory government here has made everything to do with a picket line and that very, very difficult. There's a 76-page booklet I had to read to ensure our picket lines were run correctly. I've had to send loads of stuff out to all 26 of our units of what they can and can't do. And there you go, you got a twin.
There we go. Hey, it's my brother from another mother.
Yep.
You must go to the same barbers as me.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So
The one that just polishes. Yeah.
Mac free. That's what I use.
So you're still on strike now, or you've been able to
Yeah.
resolve?
We're on strike until 4 a.m. in the morning, so I've still got reps on the picket line at the moment.
Right.
I left them after 12 hours because I said, you know what, my knees and my feet are killing me. I've got to go home.
Yeah. Wow.
That's what you do. But yeah, so they're still on strike at the moment until 4 a.m.
So have they put any offers on the table yet?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah. They have made an offer which was rejected, which was they've already given us a 2% pay rise, and
2%.
they've offered another 1.5%, which works out. He's had a few beers, old Pete. Look, that's 6. They've offered another 1.5%, but that comes with terms and conditions, and that works out an average of £8 a week pay rise. But part of them terms and conditions are they want to take away one of your allowances, which is £35 a week.
So
they think we can't do maths. They think we can't do maths and work out that that's shit.
What's £8 a week? A packet of smokes?
No, you can't even get a packet of smokes for under £10 now.
£12 a week. I've fucking packed in. I've packed in smoking, so I can't fucking afford it.
Yeah. They're dreaming. They're dreaming. That's nothing.
It's pie in the sky. It's pie in the sky. And also attached to that is a £500 bonus, which you reach if you can reach productivity targets. And the productivity targets they've set are unreachable. So
yeah.
And that's only a one-off bonus. That's not like added to anything. So my union bosses went, yeah, that's shit. I'm going to put it to the membership and see if they want to strike. And we got a 98.7% yes vote.
Yeah. What are you asking for?
A no strings attached pay rise.
Yeah. Of what percent?
We've not put a percentage on it. We want a reasonable percentage for the staff. I was saying to Peaky earlier, in the last 3 years, we had a 1% pay rise last year, 1%, and this year they've imposed 2%. But everything has gone up so much in this country, as Peaky said. In the last 3 years, you need to have had a combined pay increases of about 10% to keep 10%. You where you were.
Oh yeah, comfortably.
This is from the government. So I work for the civil service, which is obviously a bit different to Simon, but we've only had the first year we had a 1% increase, and the second year we had a 2% increase. And what they're saying, if in the last 3 years you've not had 10%, then you're below the national average. So you're in deficit, basically. If you've not had a 10% increase, you're in deficit. So you're below the national average, which is what I'm at, because I'm a low earner. I only earn my wage is like £20,000 a year. I don't know.
£20,000 a year.
Yeah, that's what I earn.
Shit.
And they're telling me that my gas and electric is £3,600 a year. Gas and electric. That's not mine. That's for. I've got 3 kids. I've got 3 kids and a grandkid who live in my house.
Yeah.
So for me, I've got 3,000 straight away, straight off the mortgage. So I earn £20,000 a year. Take my tax off that. That's about 17 grand a year. Yeah. So for 17 grand, I've got to feed, support, fuel. I've only got one car.
Insure, register, everything.
You've
birthdays,
got
Christmas.
I've got to pay fuel. I've got to pay food. I've got to make sure, my kids don't get no free school meals or fuck all like that.
Yep. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like,
Yeah.
like the email I sent is basically I'm like basically a month I'm £150 down every month. From now, I'm £150 down a month. I can't live off the wage that I've got with the way that the fuel, the electricity, the gas, the diesel, the petrol, everything's gone up. I'm at least £150 down a month. How can people survive?
Yeah. Yeah. Does your wife work as well?
Yeah, but it's only part time.
Yeah.
It's only like 9 hours a week.
Geez, the unemployed must have it tough over there.
Mate, it's hard. It's as a young family. I call myself a young family. My eldest is 19. My second one's 16. Well, the third one's 9. You know, I still have to pay for them. The government ain't paying for them. I have to pay for them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? My eldest now is pregnant with my grandson. I've got to pay for that.
Yeah. Wow.
Do you know what I mean? And you know, which
That's a little bit of pressure.
You know, all these 3 screens, we all would do exactly the fucking same, wouldn't we? You know what I mean? If you can afford it, you fucking give it them. But you know, at some point in time, the government's got to fucking step in and just say, fucking shit needs to stop now because it's getting, especially in the UK, it's getting ridiculous. It's just getting.
Yeah, but don't forget, in the UK at the moment, we do not have a government. It's a limbo government, isn't it?
We've got no
it's a zombie government.
There's no one to stand for the working person.
Right.
No one at all, because everybody in the government have got the fingers in the pies.
Yeah.
So it don't matter how high the fuel goes up or the gas or the electric, it don't matter, because they've got their fingers in that pies. I'm getting the rebate off it. I'm getting the money. So they ain't fucking bothered. They ain't bothered about me.
Yeah.
They bothered about me and my fucking kids.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's what for me, that's what's frustrating is no one's looking after, I haven't got no top cover. Do you know what I mean? No one's looking after me. Do you know what I
mean? When you really delve into it, at the moment we've got 13 different types things going on strike. From the rail, the buses are now going on strike. The barristers have gone on. The criminal barristers have gone on strike.
Oh, really? Wow.
We've gone on strike. The post office, so Royal Mail and the post office have both gone on strike, and there's strikes running through the country, and it's going from area to work group, and it's all the common denominator amongst all of them is pay. So everybody is striking over pay, and it's going to come to a point where we've got the TUC, which is the Trade Union Congress, which the majority of the big unions are also into. It's now pressure is putting on them to call a general strike, which means is they now tell all the unions that are involved with them, ballot your members. We're going to go for a general strike, and it grinds out. You got dustmen not collecting in Edinburgh, and you know all around the country you can see these pockets of things rising, and the common denominator, and every single one of them, because they're all private companies now, is pay, because these companies are all making millions in profit. So it's not only are they covering their running costs, they are making these millions in profit. And this money is then all being siphoned off to shareholders and CEOs. In the last 12 years of this Tory government, we've made more millionaire CEOs and members of the boards than ever. And it's always been the diminishing of the pay for the working people. There's no reinvestment in the workforce.
I was watching a news clip yesterday on YouTube, and something about over there where you guys are. There's a massive movement starting to roll out with people signing petitions that they're going to join in and actually do, and that's not pay any utilities. you know, because of the price has gone up just so much.
I mean, I've heard stories, and I've seen it reported that there are people that have dialysis machines at home because that's the only way they get their treatment, and other medical devices at home that run off electric, which they're saying, well, we're getting to the point now where we're running these machines to keep this person alive, but we can't afford to go and buy them food. And it's been reported we actually have more food banks in the UK now than McDonald's. That's got to tell you something. That's got to tell you something. And it's all come about from the last 12 years of austerity, where it's the government taking money out, and
I mean, from my perspective, just about all systems have completely failed because life hasn't gotten better. And like if you go back into the 60s and the 70s, probably to the mid 70s, you could support your whole family as well as create savings in your bank account, including holidays and everything, off of the one income. And now that is an impossibility, and it's been that way for several years.
I remember in the early to late 80s, it was a case of you needed both parents to work, and we created in the mid actually it's probably from the mid 70s onwards, late 70s certainly, you created this whole generation of us which were latchkey kids because both parents worked, so you had the key, so you let yourself in. There was always a mum at home when you was at school, and that in the generation before, but they couldn't afford it. And you can see the decline starting way back then in the cost of living. It does come down to the cost of living. So the cost of actually being able to support and supply for your family and have a disposable income, so you could have a holiday once a year maybe, or celebrate Christmas, or any other holiday comes up, you needed both parents to work. So we've gone through that for 30 years, and then all of a sudden two incomes aren't enough anymore. You need more income. And it's just progressively got worse, and you can see how it's been eroded. And
I got one of my subscribers that actually works 3 jobs to keep afloat. That's ridiculous.
That's more and more common. You've got people that will go out all day working and then take on a cleaning job in the evening at an office just to make ends meet. So you've got 2 parents, one of them working at least 2 jobs, the other one's never there because they're always away working. Just to make ends meet. That's not to make, I need extra money for a holiday or anything like that. It's literally just to make ends meet.
We had an holiday in fucking years. Years and years and years.
Thank God I'm lazy. That's all I can say.
Do you know what I mean?
You ain't lazy, you're retired.
No, I'm not actually. No, I mean I'm semi-retired, but I'm not fully retired.
But it's like we look at, like, when we look at stuff, we look at who we can go and see to keep the cost down, if that makes sense. Do you know what I mean? Something like, we could, if we went to Australia, for example, we'd like, it's going to cost us £1,000 each, but we can go and stop with Steve, for example, for a month, and that's going to cost us beans. You know what I mean? For a month, it's probably going to cost us, probably £1,000. You know what I mean? Because we're going to live at his house, eat his food, use his gas, use his electricity, and all the rest of it. Obviously, I'll try and help him out, but if when we go away, like I say, I've come out the army, mate, and I'm more poor now than I've fucking ever been, and that's as an ex fucking serving soldier. you leave the army thinking that the army are going to look after you, and you ain't going to
No.
fucking to pissing. Don't give a fuck.
Mhm.
They ain't interested. Once you've gone, you're gone. That's it.
Yeah.
Shrug the shoulders. What you off?
That's,
Smack your ass off you. Fuck
Yeah.
off, mate. You've done now.
yeah.
That's you
That-
done.
That's the thing that gets me as well, because I do holiday in America, and when I go over to America, there's always
I'll be right back, guys. Hang on.
there's veterans. They look after their veterans over there.
Mate, they don't give a fuck off.
Over here, we do absolutely fuck all, and me and my wife are quite patriotic, as you probably gather. Why don't we do this for ours?
Mate, they don't give a fuck. They ain't interested. I tell you why, because fucking money. That's why. It's fucking money.
We go to places in America, and I get the veterans discount because of served, regardless of what country you come from. And we go there, and it's you get this up and this up, and they go free, and all the rest of the kids and everything else. And it's like wow. And then you go over here, and it's like no, you got to pay full price. I don't care. Don't matter. Actually, this is the country you serve for. No, it don't matter. It don't matter. It makes not one iota, and that is really, really sad. And that's something
in our country and most other countries. You go to most other countries, if you're an any type of ex-service fucking military, you get some kind of discount. It don't matter whether you're buying a fucking cup of coffee or you're booking a fucking hotel. You get some kind of fucking discount in this country, mate.
Nothing.
Mate, they won't give you the fucking steam off your fucking shit. They ain't interested.
Wow.
You're just a fucking number.
Yeah.
And that's the difference. That's the difference. That's the difference. And then, like I was, I mean, I don't know whether you was on, but I got PTSD. I'm quite happy to say that I've got PTSD. I've got issues. What I've saw in my military career, but they don't give a fuck. They ain't interested. They ain't bothered that not only has he fucked my head up, it's fucked two out of my three kids' heads up of what I've had to deal with, what they've saw, what I've had to deal with. They ain't bothered about that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's the fucking frustrating thing. Is that there's no liability there. Oh yeah, man, you went to war. Yeah, I fucking did. You sent me to fucking war.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, fair enough. I signed the contract to say I'll go, but at some point you've got to fucking hold your hands up and go, hold on a minute. If he's fucked and his fucking two daughters are being fucking seen for fucking issues, then obviously something's fucking wrong. You know what I mean? You take fucking rocket science.
Yeah, big time. Yeah.
You know, and for me, that's the frustrating thing. You get out the army and you just get fucking left, mate. And you know, you've gone from somebody kicking a door in, fucking, you know, kicking the door in, fucking ready to kill somebody, to they want you to fucking drive a wagon for fucking 60 hours a week. I'm like, fucking. At some point, someone's gonna hit the peak. It's gonna fucking volcano. You know what I mean? It's gonna fucking explode at some point.
Yeah, if it keeps going, it's got to.
Yeah,
you know?
It might not, but 90% of the time, at some point, if you're in any kind of theatre of war, it's gonna fucking explode, and that's the frustrating thing now. And that's why I said to my missus, I don't want to live in this country. I fucking hate the country. Take me to, like I say, take me to Australia, take me to fucking France, take me to fucking Spain. I don't give a fuck. Just get me the fuck away from here. I don't want to be here no more.
I think Europe is pretty much screwed.
Yeah.
Massively. And I think wherever you go in Europe, you're probably going to end up in the same soup. You know, so I'd probably look further abroad than Europe. Well,
you're probably right, but you know, when I've literally come back last week from being in France, Germany, Switzerland, and Austria, and their fuel's gone up by €40, and as mine's quadrupled, you kind of think to yourself, what am I doing? Well, what's the point? You know what I mean? Why am I being in the UK when mine's quadrupling and I'm going up there by, for us about 25, 30 quid? You know what I mean? Probably $50 for you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That ain't a massive amount of money. If you know what I mean, if you've gone from $30 to $50, it ain't nothing, is it? Really? Do you know what I mean? It's a fucking pack of fags or fucking whatever. Do you know what I mean? But for us, we're going from £120 a month, which is probably what $150 to, well, I paid £361, which is probably about $570 a month.
Right.
That's a fucking massive fucking chunk of money.
Yeah.
I'm quite happy to sit there and fucking take it.
Yeah.
And they sat there and go, yeah, mate, we'll look at sorting it out. I'm like, yeah, mate. Fucking keep paying us.
Yeah.
Hey, do you know what I mean? Fuckers.
Yeah. Not good at all.
No.
It's high, mate. It's high, and it's only going to get worse, unfortunately.
Yeah.
It's only going to get worse. It's never going to. It's going to get to the point where there's going to be like almost like a fucking civil war. That's what I think. It's going to get to the point where it's going to be like a fucking civil war because people are just going to go, you know what? Fucking, I ain't nothing.
When you talk about civil war, you talk about civil uprising. I think it's better of it, and the trade union congress will start that with the. Poll tax riots. Yeah, that's point one, and that's where it's coming towards. It's going to be that kind of civil unrest in this country.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And it's heading that way. But the thing is, we have a zombie government at the moment because you've got Boris Johnson that's been outed, that's in place, that won't make any decisions on anything because his predecessor might not want to do them. The two people you've got coming in are absolute fucking useless.
Yeah.
And the idea is they've got the way to get out of it or get that. It's not going to happen. So I mean, it's going to be real civil unrest and it's going to be uprising. You're absolutely right. We're going to end up with riots in our fucking streets again.
Yeah.
Someone else said to me,
I wonder why crime is increasing, eh?
Yeah. No idea why. It's because people can't afford to feed their fucking families. That's why.
Yeah.
Because you've got more McDonald's. You've got more fucking food banks than McDonald's.
Yeah, but in the winter, what are you going to do? Mate, it's a decision whether to go shopping or to put the fucking heating on.
Yeah.
That's and it might sound fucking stupid, but that's the decision as a low income fucking earner. That's the decision I've got to fucking make.
But that's where it's degraded so much from, say, the 70s. In the 70s, the last consideration that would be on your mind would be paying the utilities.
Yeah.
That'd
be the last consideration because it was super cheap.
Yeah.
But that's a scenario that I'm earning as a I can't get, because of my injuries that I got within the army. I can't get a decent job kind of thing. So, I can only earn a level because of my capability, what I can do.
Yeah.
So now, in the winter, when they say, right, what do you want to do? Food or freeze.
Yeah.
And that is going to be the fucking scenario that I'm going to have this winter. And I've got a missus, 3 kids, and I'm going to have a granddaughter, and I'm going to have a grandson in my house. So what option have I got there?
Yeah.
What option have I got? Apart from fucking take another job. So I'm already doing fucking 43 hours a week, and then I've got to take another job on top to pay for my gas and electric, just so I can fucking
Not
see it
really.
night and get warm.
60, 70 hours a fucking week.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
It's crazy shit.
It's fucking madness.
Anyway,
Madness.
I'm going to say it's 1 a.m. in the morning here. I'm starting to nod off now because I've been up for 23 hours. I'm going to have to call this. I'm going to have to call this tonight again. Rowley, thank you ever so much for joining us again. You do every week, and I appreciate it. Peaky, it's lovely to meet you for the first time. I've enjoyed it.
Mate, okay.
Good chat. You're gonna have to find me on Instagram and that, and hit me up with some messages, and we'll do that. Yeah.
Can you put the Peaky Bikers link up for me?
I don't know.
Just look on YouTube, Peaky Biker, the Peaky Biker. There's only me on there. Ugly motherfucker with a ginger beard.
Yeah.
He's got a ginger beard. He's fucked. Yeah.
Because I'll check you out and hit the button, mate. And
mate.
And if you do likewise, my channel's got all sorts on it, but mainly bikes. But yeah, you'll sniff around, you'll see what life's like around this side of the planet.
Mate, all you'll see from me is fucking swearing, laughing, and fucking bitching. That's me.
Oh, I think I got you. Yeah, I got you.
You got him? All right. I think it's like me looking for
I'll follow you back.
All right, no worries. Got you.
All right.
Well, take care, Simon. Have a good week. Everybody else.
I'll do my best. I've done 100 million hours this week, and I'm fucked. So
100 million hours. That's some fucking pay increase. That is 100 million hours.
Yeah, that's what it feels like.
Yeah, look, grab your bow and arrow and go to the big.
I'll tell you what. I turned up to work the other morning. I was really early. I turned up to work the other morning, and one of our reps, Kelly, bless her, she turned around at me and she said, "What shift are you working now?" I said, 24-hour one. She said, "Yeah, I know, because the stuff you've been sending out has been coming out day and fucking night. You know, everybody's phones is going fucking mental." Just think who's generated all that. Yeah,
yeah.
So, but like I say, it culminated in today. Out of 550 workers, only 2 went in. So, fucking happy with that. I'll live with that every day of the week.
Keep it up. Look after your blokes.
Yeah,
that's the main
thing.
No
worries.
Yeah. Look after your muckers.
Right, love to all. Keep yourself well. Look after yourself. And I don't often do this, but I'm gonna run the intro on the outward. Why not?
Catch us, guys. See ya.
I'm gonna watch it.
Take care, guys. Thank you very much.
Right,